I'm teacher Casey from ESL with a Gypsy Soul and caseyteaches.weebly.com. You can check it out later if you like. And on my channel, I like to share all about teaching online, and I work with 5 companies, so I know a little bit about teaching online. I've been doing it for over 2 years, so I'd love to share with you all about it. And today I'm going to share with you about Outschool and course creation. Okay, let's jump on in. All right, so let's have a look here. I've got some different classes, so I'll go ahead and show you the one that I've got listed so far. And this is exciting and fun would you rather questions, which has really been an exciting class. I've had such a fun time with everybody. You see that there are some canceled, and just the reason for that is I was told by another not to open as many. So then I decided to cancel some of them, and nobody was in them. So it was no harm, no foul. It didn't hurt anybody. Okay, so let's have a look at the class though. I want to share Outschool has started to raise their standards a bit because, they hire so many people. They hire people that are from the age 18 and up. So they definitely have to raise their standards, and they've set new requirements. You can look at here, I've got what it looks like, then I can edit. All right, so this is what you would see if you are creating your class. Okay, so you have your title, and your title, they want it to be title case. So what this means is you are not using all caps, you're doing an example like this, or as their own example here, sorry. Anyways, that's exactly what you're doing. They don't want you to use any emojis or tons of exclamation points. They want you to use one exclamation mark or point. And we're going to work on the summary. So with this, it's just a quick little sentence about what they're going to be doing in the course. So I write in mine, in this one-time course, students will answer would you rather questions to help develop their critical thinking skills. So it's going to be something, just something to get them going and to maybe get them excited to know what they're going to be learning about. And then you have subjects, so you have different things to choose from. You have arts, coding and tech, English, health and wellness, life skills, math, music, science and nature, social studies, and so on. Anyways, it's a little limited, so if you're doing something like cooking, then maybe that would be under life skills. So life skills can be many, many different things. You just kind of have to pick and choose and think what would be best for it. Okay, and then as far as class types or course types, you've got one time. So for a one-time class, this means only one time. And I had heard when I first started that your very first class must be a one-time class. But as I learned last night in a course description course, you do not have to have this as your very first class. It is an option. They do not want you to do a flex class as your first class. So that is not an option there, but you can do a one-time or a multi-day or a semester longer class, ongoing class. They just want, basically they suggest that you do a one-time class to start because then you'll be getting more and more people giving you feedback, and then you'll be getting some ratings, which is really good for your channel and it's good for your page because then hopefully you'll be getting more students that way. So it is a suggestion. All right, and then you can also do the multi-day. So right here, the multi-day is more than once. It can be either 2 a day, or it can be several times a week, once a week, or it can be really whatever you prefer. Ongoing classes, ongoing, the subscribers, or sorry, your students subscribe to it, and they can really stop anytime they want. So if it's something maybe they're not so into, or if it's just something that maybe they're going on vacation or they're going to be doing something where they can't make it to the class, then they can stop their subscription really anytime. So that's kind of helpful, just in case, things come up. All right, and then you could do semester 8-week courses, or you can go up to 20 weeks. So that's pretty cool. And you have your cover image. So you don't have to add a video, that's just an option. But it's something that if you're really into making videos, then you might want to just give them a little teaser to see what they can expect from your fun class. I have my cover image. So they say, I have heard from somebody else, a fellow YouTuber, that if you use your own image as you're the teacher, and so you have a picture of yourself within your course image, and that can help just so they know who's teaching the class. And I don't know, it's just nice to see really, so they know that you're actually the teacher. So that's pretty cool. And I know Outschool has recently started working with Unsplash. And so with that, you can upload an image from Unsplash right through the Outschool page. So that's very cool because that's not copyrighted and everything is groovy. And also with an image, if you use Canva, Canva is so helpful. And I use Canva all the time to make different things. Canva's awesome. You can use Unsplash as mentioned, and you can use different things. Let's see, I've also got Pixabay. So those are things that you shouldn't have to pay for the images, and you don't have to worry about copyright. Copyright is a big deal, guys and girls. So you don't want to have to worry about that. So definitely use either of those and your golds. Okay, and then next you have course format. So this is where you get to choose your age. They describe it for you here. So it just depends. They don't want you to go 5 years and up because that can really give you some lower ratings. That's what they were talking about last night in the class that I took. If you have a course that you have a 5-year gap, then really that's a pretty big span. So the lower the span, the better. And they say maybe 2 or 3 years is better. And I agree. I think that's really a good way to go. Class size. So they have different class sizes depending on the age of the students. If it's 6 and below, then you don't want to do more than 6 learners. And if it's ages 6 to 12, then you can have up to 9 learners. How cool is that? You can have 9 or less, depending on what you're comfortable with and what your course is about. It might be better to have fewer if you choose. And for ages 12 and up, you can have up to 12 learners. And you can see it goes up to 18. So I think you can, maybe it just depends on what kind of course it is, you can go up to 18, but typically 12 is the max. All right, and then you have your course duration. So you can see how many times a week you want it to be, and you can do it how long, how many minutes or hours. It can go up if you want, and how many times it will be per week. And then you have your description. So this is like the meat of the lesson, everyone. This is so important. So you will be talking about the class experience and then just talk about really what's going to be happening in the class. They say if it meets more than if it meets 6 or more times, it should be at least 200 words. And they do give you I think you have to do at least 200 now because the last several times I've typed in my description, it wouldn't let me do any less than 200 words. So I think that's just a given that you have to do at least 200 words. And really, you can write several sentences just about what you're expecting for the students to complete in the class. So different things that you want to talk about, and I mean, you don't have to necessarily include every single one of these if it doesn't really go in with your lesson, but it's helpful to just fit in anything that you can. Okay, so I mentioned that they'll be boosting the learners' critical thinking skills during a fun Would You Rather session. And then I gave an example of one of the questions because, I don't know, I figure it's fun to get an example, a little taste of what they can expect. And I talk about what we will be doing in the beginning. So first we have several questions that we'll be focusing on that we can think of while we're doing the lesson, okay? And then we have learning goals. This is optional. They kind of suggest that you do this, though you don't have to. So it's not really a must. I didn't because I was in a hurry and I didn't really have time to do it. So I just chose not to since it was optional anyways. And if you have any homework for your students, assessments, anything there, you're welcome to include that and make sure that they have the materials and everything that they need to do what you want them to do outside of class. All right, and then you have an option to give them outside work or the hours that are expected outside of the class. And then you have parental guidance. So if it's a sensitive subject, if it's violent graphic images, or if there are weapons and things like this, then you might want to suggest a parent being present, or just let them know that that's going to be talked about in the class, so that, or it's going to be in the lesson. So that way they know, and it's not a complete surprise, because everyone's different, and it's good to respect everybody in their own wishes. All right, and then you can have sources. So if you have any like YouTube videos, websites, anything, or if they're reading a book, if you're going to be looking at a book in class, or if there are any outside articles, you might want to put that here. That would be good, so they can refer to that and they can check it out if they want to, or if it's needed. And then teacher expertise. This is something if you are talking about something like violence or a high risk topic. All right, and you can also, like, if you're a doctor or if you're teaching something, I mean, you're not going to be teaching surgery, but certain topics like psychology, then you want to put in your expertise and your experience there. That would be so helpful. All right, and then your materials. So again, if they have any materials they'll be needing, this is a great place to put it, because your students are going to be needing that. So if there are any materials, then go for it. And then you have a little welcome post. So you can just put a little something. Outschool does have a message already pre-written, but you want to make it your own. So get your own words in there. All right, and then you can set your price. So you list your price per learner. You can see here that it's per learner. So you can set it however low or high you believe you want. Though don't go too high, because if you go too high, then you might not get any learners. And you want it to be affordable for sure. All right, and then you have your estimated earnings. So Outschool does take out 30% as it shows, and this just says what I would make per class. So it says per week, but I would have multiple sections per week, so that's just for one class what I would make. Okay, and I'm going to save it because I don't know if I did anything different. I think it's the same. This is my kitty. Oh, hi, kitty. And then I'm just going to go in really quickly just to check these out. So this one, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, Discussion and Social, it's a book club, so that's what it's meant to be. It's been kicked back to me several times with the topic of racism, or just put that in my lesson, maybe if I'm not going to be talking about it. So I do not want to be talking about that. Obviously, that is something that, I mean, I completely respect people and everybody. I don't want there to be any negative and bad feelings in the class. And so I'm going to try to stray away from that as much as possible. I want it all to be so positive, and there is prejudice in the title of the book, but it's not about prejudice against people and racism. It's prejudice, basically, it's social class. So it's high class, upper class, lower class. That's what it's mostly about. There's nothing about any racism or prejudice against people of a different race at all. So I want to make sure that people know that. And then it's multi-day. I created this on Canva, so I'm pretty proud of that. I don't know, I think it looks pretty cool. And then I have my age group, class size, everything in the description. I did make it a little longer. And then I put what we would do each week. So the chapters that will be covered each week. And so you can see that I mentioned I don't want to step on anybody's shoes, I completely respect everybody, as I mentioned, and I honestly really do. So that is just what I'm about here. So you get to see what this class is. Okay, and then I made some changes. I just wanted them to know that. So I included the part on prejudice. So definitely I wanted to put that here. And then I also wanted to talk about how I have down here, sorry. So you can see here, this is price per learner because this is a multi-week class. So that would be for the entire time. That's not per class. That's for the whole longevity of the class. And then you can see it's flexible. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And I had to put in that I have background teaching with substitute teaching in K-12 because since I'm going to be teaching high school age students, they wanted to make sure that I was able and capable to do that. So I definitely understand, and I just wanted them to, I wanted to put that in there. So I put that in my profile. I had to do that for this class. Okay, and then just a little bit on Crikey. I love Steve Irwin. He's like one of my heroes, and I've always been such a fan of his and his awesomeness, how positive he was all the time. So I wanted to do a class on him. There is a book called Who Was Steve Irwin? And it's a kid's book, you know, like higher elementary or like middle school. So I chose Science and Nature, one-time class. You can see the image there. That was from Unsplash, so I didn't have to even go to another page. They just had it right there, and I could choose for, really, I can choose anything I want. As long as they have it in there, then that's good, and you don't have to pay for it, so that's nice. And the course format, I have the age. So this just gives you a general idea of what you can expect. And then I did put in here my PowerPoint. I didn't put the slides in there, but I actually put in what we would be learning through the class because I know that some of them probably really want to know what it's about. Definitely, that just gives you a real general idea and feel of what you can do and how you can create your class. So that gives you a really good general feel of what it's like to create your own class online through Outschool and how to work through your course description. So definitely, I hope that was so helpful for you. I know that it helped me to see other people do it because I've gotten to be a part of a wonderful community and they have these wonderful freebies. So getting to have access to that, it was really amazingly helpful. And so I just wanted to walk you through it a little bit. So I hope this was the confidence you needed to create your own course through Outschool. I know it's so helpful to have a video and just to see how it's done because when I first started, I was like, what do I do? But I had a mentor and I had freebies that she had given me. So it was so great to see really how it works and how to create your own course. I did create my own course description guide that I would love to share with you. You can email me or you can comment below, and I'd be so happy to share that. Yes, because it's so helpful and it helped me greatly when I was first starting with Outschool. All right, so you can shoot me an email at teacher.casey1988@gmail.com, or you can comment and we'll get to chatting, okay? So definitely let me know. And thank you so much. I wish you lots and lots of luck as you are getting to create your fun classes. Yeah, I'm rooting for you all the way. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.